and going on because it's definitely a bright future ahead with boxing and with sports. So we're going to recap on that. And then I have a special guest in the second segment of today's show, and I'm looking forward. I'm going to keep it quiet, keep you all in suspense if you don't already know. I'm going to keep you in suspense for those who do not know. We're going to have a very special guest coming on in the second segment of the show. So right now what we're going to do, we're going to go on a short commercial break, and we'll be right back. This is In the Ring with Al Jones.
For our troops and their families, the military is more than a career. It's a journey, and every step along the way, the USO is there.
It's an experience that soldier will never forget. That's what the USO does.
Be a part of their journey. Donate today at USO.org.
For more information and the latest updates on the coronavirus, text the word virus to 60796 any time of day. Text messages and data rates may apply.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
At Big Lots, the neighborhoods we serve mean the world to us, and we're more inspired than ever by the heroes keeping those neighborhoods safe. As thanks, we're giving all first responders, medical professionals, commercial drivers, active military, and veterans 15% off everything. For curbside pickup, show valid work ID, CDL, military ID, or badge. Or on biglots.com, use code BIGHEROES, because that's what you are, and we all thank you. Exclusions apply. See store for details.
If you're having a crisis or dealing with a dangerous situation, there is someone who can help. Did you know that RTA buses and trains are safe places? Look for the yellow diamond-shaped Safe Place signs on all vehicles and at various RTA locations. If you are in crisis, get to a Safe Place vehicle or location and let the bus or train operator know, and he or she will contact the transit police, whom will immediately get to your location and assist. There is no fee for Safe Place assistance. Log on to riderta.com/Safe Place for more information. This is a WERE public service announcement.
The stigma of addiction is destroying lives across the country, preventing our loved ones from getting the help they need. We are Shatterproof, a national nonprofit dedicated to ending the stigma and devastation addiction causes families. We are changing laws, creating a community of support, and providing evidence-based resources for prevention, treatment, and recovery. Stigma shatters lives. Rise up against addiction now so another life isn't lost. Get involved at shatterproof.org/riseup.
News Talk 1490 WERE, Cleveland Heights, WZAK HD3, Cleveland.
Welcome back to In the Ring with your man Al Jones. That's right, AJ in the ring. And I'm here with my main man from Boxing Sweet Science 2.0, our sister station, Marshall Brown. How you doing today, Marshall?
Man, I am happy, blessed, too blessed to be stressed. I was just in the backyard. I forgot I had to run up. I was working on my garden, getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. After this, you don't know what's next, man. So I was trying to plant my own food to grow.
Oh man, that's good. And I think today it's Earth Day or something also. So that's started.
I think it was a couple of days ago. It could have been. I'm not sure. But
okay.
After I realized what NASA had released, saying that they came in contact with some unidentified flying object, you just never know what's going on now.
Hey, I heard about that, man. That's incredible. It wasn't something out on the moon or something, or it was.
No, they actually they released footage stating that it was indeed a unidentified flying object, and that they shot it down. So yeah, and they confirmed that that's what it was. The Defense Department confirmed it. So I was actually suspicious because I don't do conspiracy theories, but that was kind of shocking to me. So I said, man, if they can confirm that, anything is possible, man. You don't know what's going on, man. So we got to prepare for our own food. We better learn how to hunt, fish, trap, because you just don't know, man. You can't rely on the government for anything.
Exactly, and I definitely confirm that because you never know right now. And the garden doesn't sound like a bad idea, man. So also, I mean, throwing some things out there. They say your boy Floyd Mayweather is thinking about training, becoming a trainer. He's really considering that now.
Yeah, and I think I like that idea, man. I think he has so much. He's a wealth of information. They always say you don't know if great fighters can turn into great trainers, but I think Floyd is a wealth of information, and if you follow his blueprint, I think he can make a couple of champions. I love that. I love the idea of him giving back. You know.
Right. And he definitely has a wealth of knowledge. If anyone knows about boxing, Floyd is definitely, he's definitely the man to consult with. His technique, his work ethic. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about that, and you can definitely learn a lot from it. So I'm looking forward to that.
The only concern I would say, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The only concern I would say is if he's trying to get like with established fighters, if they're going to try to come over, let's say, hypothetically speaking, a Deontay Wilder or somebody who's established that's not under his banner, they would have to check their egos at the door. You know what I mean? Because if you try to train a former champion or a world champion, it's hard to make them forget what they came with. Unlike a guy like Freddie Roach, who got with Miguel Cotto, who was a former champion at the time, and then came them. And what he did was he stripped himself bare of whatever he knew, under the tutelage of his father, and he was able to accept what Freddie Roach was doing, and it worked. His system, he accepted it, and it worked. Other guys, it doesn't necessarily, they can't adjust, and they can't take to it. So with egos like Floyd and perhaps like a Deontay Wilder, I don't know. I think, honestly, Deontay Wilder could benefit from a Floyd, but I don't know if that would ever happen.
Yeah. He definitely will. But I think with Deontay, it's going to take a legend to get in his ear. Like a legend like a Larry Holmes to get in his ear and be able to school him. I think it would have to be one of the legends that could help and get into Deontay Wilder's ear, that can help him step his game and get ready for this post-coronavirus era that we're on the dawn of.
I think there was a rumor that he had a conversation with George Foreman. I think, I don't know what came out of it, but I don't know how much of a conversation could help. I mean, some things change your life. I don't know if he's considering bringing him into camp or whatever, but I know he had posted that it was a productive conversation that he had with George Foreman. So that's a step in the right direction when you can, concede that you might have a problem and you can bring somebody in that can shed light on your situation.
Exactly. And for rumor has it, your main man Anthony Joshua, he's getting ready for Usyk. Usyk, that before the end of the year, hopefully we'll have an opportunity to see Anthony Joshua this year, within the next 6 months.
I wouldn't put my hat on that. I wouldn't hang my hat on that because, from my understanding, Anthony Joshua has a sight on trying to become undisputed. So that means kind of trying to lure Tyson Fury away from the Deontay Wilder fight and trying to get the title unification. So him and Eddie Hearn are trying to gun towards that, because the sanctioning bodies will accept a unification or undisputed fight over the mandatory. So I think that's a strong possibility versus Usyk. Usyk might be down the line. Usyk, I don't know, man. I'm not sold on him as a heavyweight. I think he's an impressive guy. I love his personality. I think he's great for boxing. But I really need to see a little bit more from him as a heavyweight to be tested in the deeper waters. You know what I mean?
Yes. I would myself too definitely would look forward. But I really think because Anthony Joshua was looking to offer, from my resources, looking to offer Deontay Wilder somewhere between 10, 12 million to step aside. The $10 million to step aside and work on that unification between Joshua and Tyson Fury.
No, I don't think I don't know how true that is, man. That's a payday. That's a huge payday to step aside. I don't see that happening.
If it's anywhere between 5-10 million, just to say, okay, draw up a contract, just let us two go at it, and you can have the winner. And you can have the winner of this unification bout. That could be interesting.
It could. I had thrown that scenario out because I had a conversation with them, so I was trying to put feelers out to see if the people felt that it was a good idea. And surprisingly enough, a lot of people felt like Deontay Wilder was too prideful to take, because what I proposed was $2 million step aside money, which was more realistic than $12, $15 million. Nobody paid that. That's a purse. That's what Ruiz got to fight in the rematch. So nobody's paying that for step aside money. But I proposed that as just a feeler to see what the people thought. And they were like, no, Deontay Wilder deserves a rematch, which I honestly, I have my doubts about seeing a trilogy after I've seen what happened. But listen, he was a champion. He gave Tyson Fury the shot. And based off that, he has a chance. He has a puncher's chance. He has a chance to prove himself. I, for one, am a minority. I don't believe that he can do anything different. But, boxing is boxing. Anything can happen, so you just never know. But that's a lot of money. I just don't know.
Hey, for $10 million, I would do it. I would step aside. I would take that purse to step aside, let them have a unification bout between Fury and Joshua, and I pick the winner of the unification bout. I would step aside for that.
Yeah, it's tempting, but you know how boxing goes, right? So you might be next in line, right? But then something else happens. And even if you have a contract and you're next in line, something else happens. And then you could take that $5 million and it'll be probably your last big payday before you actually get a fight. Let's look at Dillian White. Dillian White was next in line at WBC, next in line for almost 3.5 years. He's going old. He's like that guy on Beetlejuice with the number 68 million for, you know what I'm saying? He's been waiting. He's been a mandatory forever. But Deontay Wilder and Mauricio, all those guys over there at the WBC, that just sidestepped him. And I blame Eddie Hearn in a lot of ways for not fighting for Dillian White and as hard as he should to get that guy a title bout. Because with the problem with Eddie Hearn is Eddie Hearn in a lot of ways. For a lot of people that's listening and that don't know, Eddie Hearn is the promoter for Matchroom. He's Anthony Joshua's promoter. He was a part of the deal that came with DAZN and introduced DAZN to the U.S. market. So Eddie Hearn is great.
And pretty much the Al Heyman of UK, pretty much.
Yeah,
Eddie Hearn.
In a lot of ways. Yeah, big guy, big promoter. And what he did was him and Deontay Wilder went sour during the negotiations for the Anthony Joshua fight. And what that did is left a real nasty taste in Deontay Wilder's mouth. So regardless of what he brings to the table, Deontay Wilder is not feeling him. He doesn't want to do business with him. He doesn't want to work with him. So a lot of times I think Dillian White is the inadvertent recipient of that anger, because now he can't get a title shot with Deontay Wilder because he just don't want to do business with Eddie Hearn.
True, very true. So anything can happen though, and this is one thing I do, rest assured. And boxing is going to need definitely the next 6 months, once I'll say, we're looking at June, thinking, things are going to start back up around in June, from what I'm hearing. Within the next 6 months, boxing is definitely going to have to, like I said before, drain the pond. It's time for boxing. It's going to have to get, if it wants to continue to survive after this pandemic, it's going to have to get very aggressive within the next 6 months. And when I say drain the pond, we're going to have to see these, especially without a crowd, we're going to have to see some really good title fights. We're going to have to really see the champ versus the champ, the unification bout. We're going to definitely, we need that. Boxing is going to need that. We're going to have to see that Terrence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao. We're going to have to see that Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia, or Ryan Garcia versus Tank. Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez. We're going to have to see some very aggressive bouts within the next 6 months in order for the sport to survive this pandemic. Also,
but here I'm gonna play devil's advocate for both sides of that. I agree with you 100%, but there's another aspect to that. So what you're saying is essentially we're gonna have to have all those big fights, but now without the gate, we spoke about this before and in depth. The fighters are gonna take less pay, so which means the consumer, right? Because this is a trickle down effect, right? Slippery slope.
Right.
The consumer. Now, everything has to be pay-per-view. Now, we have 26 million people on unemployment. And how do you intrigue the people to take their minimum money that's coming in monthly to want to put that money in to pay for a streaming service monthly? How do you appetize them? How do you make it interesting to make these guys people want to pay? And like you said, they got to put the big fights in.
Right. And also, in order to also make it happen, we from the hood. We going to pitch in. We going to give about 3 or 4. We had $25, $30 a piece, $20 a piece, and we going to pitch in and watch this fight. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the trickle-down effect.
We can make it happen.
We can make it happen. That we will watch the fight, but how does that affect the bottom line for the fighter? So now all these big guys was looking for those big paydays, because boxing will always take care of itself. But the business aspect, because it's actually a business, that's why we call it prize fighting. How do you get these guys to command these big paydays? For example, Mikey Garcia fighting, for $7 million. How do you justify him getting $7 million being paid from the zone for his last fight? Those are big numbers. You understand? So to command those type of paydays without a gate, without a live audience, they're going to have to be some really, really either loaded cards with the creme de la creme, the top of the line fighters, and or just showcase main event guys, and which that inadvertently means the C-list fighters. I hate to call a fighter C-list, but the guys that's not so top of the line, those guys will not eat or be featured.
Right. In which PBC almost had a format like that. They would have fights that they would, the undercards. Some of the undercards you could view on Fox Sports, on Fox 1. And then the other part of the show, the main event per se part of the show, of the card, you would have to tune in and you would have to purchase that. That would be pay-per-view.
Right.
So, Al Heyman, I guess, being Al Heyman being the man that he is, he's kind of ahead of the curve with that, because that's what he was offering. You would be able to see on Fox Sports parts of the undercard, a couple fights on the undercard, and then after that, then you would have to purchase the rest of the fight on pay-per-view. So that's how that was tinkering.
The same thing was happening with ESPN Plus. You would have ESPN. Some of the fights would be featured on a regular, and then you would have to switch over for the main event for the streaming service, which is a paid streaming service for ESPN
Correct.
Plus. So I think that business model because the zone came and effectively changed the game, right? Because when they first came in, they came in with these low price marketing, right? And so people was like, "Yo, that's unsustainable. How do they get all these great fights with this low price mark?" But then, they came in later and they raised the price, but you still get great fights because they bought all of the Floyd old fights from CBS Showtime, right? So they have rights to some of those fights that you can see. You can see all of the old fights in the archives. So the Zone was smart in doing that, and they acquired one of the biggest names, which was Canelo. He's one of the biggest names in boxing.
Right.
So they acquired him. They got Anthony Joshua, who is not technically a DAZN fighter. His deal is with Matchroom. So he is a Sky Sports fighter, and his fights is featured on DAZN. So a lot of people don't know this about Anthony Joshua, but he's digging both. He's getting, a lot of the money out of both of the pots. Whereas, unlike Canelo,
absolutely.
Canelo is strictly to DAZN. His fights are pretty much called. He signed the biggest contract, but his money is kind of niched out per fight. I mean, I'm sure he gets something right back in, but these guys are making big money. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what you brought to my attention about the gate for the Tyson Fury and Wilder 2. How much you said it was?
$17 million.
Oh man, that's like some guy's purses. So that was just the gate. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine that being taken away.
Yeah.
And those numbers are not
Everybody's
always made.
Have to take a pay cut. Right. Everyone is going to have to take a pay cut. And speaking about ESPN Plus, you just brought up ESPN Plus. Your main man, Hub of Boxing, Dana White, Mr. UFC. He has a bout going on this weekend down in Florida. And right. I'm interested to see how that goes. I mean, he has that UFC 249. That's in Jacksonville, Florida this weekend coming up, May 9th, without a crowd, which will, this can pioneer. Dana could be a true pioneer with this. Right.
So he is going to, the marketing is going to be, not the marketing, but the viewership is going to be off the chain. He is going to, because, people are starving for action. They want to, right. We love to see the archive fights, but people want to see live action. So he is going to get the boxing fans that can't get boxing, and they're going to tune in.
The UFC. It's going to be interesting this weekend. I definitely interested to see how his viewership is. I mean, if there's any indication of how the NFL draft, that viewership was this past week. That viewership was the highest out of all time.
I can imagine.
Right. I'm interested to see if Dana White can pull this off. WWE has tried it, and I don't think it did pretty good. It did good, and they have a huge base, but a huge fan base. But I'm interested to see. I mean, Dana White, he went down to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. He set this up, and Island. I think his theme is Island Fighting, and I'm interested. It's going to be very interesting this weekend to see how that UFC pans out. And kudos to Florida, the state of Jacksonville, in the city of Jacksonville, for trying to do what they can to assist Dana in pulling this off.
But you know what was interesting to me in just watching, because outside of being a boxing extraordinaire and all that stuff, I love politics. I pay close attention to politics. And what I've noticed is that when, President Trump was having all the business heads and he had the business meetings and he had all the figureheads in sports meet under the same roof or on a conference call, there was no boxing representation there. There was no figurehead from boxing. So boxing technically didn't have representation at the White House to spit its cause or to spew its cause. I could attribute that to a lot of different things. But one of the things I thought about, and I said to myself, now one of the problems is, how does we get representation? Because what's going to happen is, in boxing, we're going to have to go where WWE go, or where what you call it? UFC.
Right.
because boxing didn't have a voice at the table, which is unfortunate. And I think it's because it's too many bosses. So we couldn't send one person. You know what I mean? We couldn't send one figurehead to speak.
Yeah, I think they might call me up for that one, so I can go ahead and represent state of boxing for that one. Hey, hold that thought real quick. This is Al Jones from In the Ring. We're gonna go on a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
1, 2. Check me out right here, yo. Need to turn the track up a little bit for me. All up in my ears. The mic is loud, but the music ain't loud.
NewsTalkCleveland.com.
What's up, Where you been? I haven't seen you with all this crazy stuff going on in the news.
Oh, boy, I've been at home tackling all this stuff your auntie got me doing. Boy, I can't wait to get back to work. Then we tried that food delivery service thing, and the man pulled up in this hunk of junk that he calls a car. I had to go out there and tell him about North Coast Auto Mall.
But, can you still get cars from North Coast Auto right now?
Of course they're still open, and they've lowered their prices on everything in their inventory. And they've got one of the largest inventories in the state, and you can still get a ride for as little as 99 cents down. Cheaper than a roll of toilet paper, and you know we can't find that.
Right. I got a friend that needs a new ride, and with their prices and down payments, he can save his stimulus check for something else. What's the number again?
Nephew, just give them a call. 1-800-NEXT-CAR. Call them right now, or visit one of their 3 locations. They're all clean and sanitized around the clock to keep everything moving. Down payments as low as 99 cents down, and financing for any situation, even if you're in a holding pattern with your job. Call 1-800-NEXT-CAR to get in touch with the great deals today at North Coast Auto Mall.
99 cents down. For example, amount finance equals $9,000. APR rate 24.9. 48 monthly payments of $297.91 upon approved credit.
This is Reverend Sharpton, and on the last Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton.
There is a trio right now of mediocre white men who rode their privilege to leadership who are actively trying to kill us. That's Brian Kemp, Republican governor of Georgia, Greg Abbott, Republican governor of Texas, and Ron DeSantis, Republican governor of Florida. The fact that they have the backing of Bill Barr, the Attorney General, shows that Bill Barr does not consider himself an attorney for the people, but he considers himself an attorney to carry Donald Trump's water. And he had to get approved, he had to get confirmed for this position by a GOP-controlled Senate. You remember the back and forth he and Senator Kamala Harris had during his confirmation hearing. This is a major problem.
So keep it real daily with me, Al Sharpton.
Audible is here for you. Listen to new releases in every genre. Discover why millions of people are listening on Audible every month, and find out how to get your first audiobook free at audible.com.
In this one small world that we share together,
there's still a lot of good things that we can share.
We can share hope.
We can share laughter.
We can share healing.
We can share ideas.
We can share inspiration.
We can share encouragement.
We can share joy.
We can share love.
We can share the message that together we can beat this.
Because together
we are one.
The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ is here! The champ
Welcome back to In the Ring with your man Al Jones. That's right, In the Ring with Al Jones, and I'm here with my main man, Boxing Sweet Science on Marshall Brown 2.0. What's going on, baby? How you feeling?
I'm still here. Happy to be here, brother.
Good. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I told you I had a pleasant surprise for you today. I need you all to stand on your feet and give one of boxing's own, the legendary. The legendary heavyweight champion of the world, Terry, the Eastern Assassin. Oh, how you doing today, champ?
I'm doing good, man. It's real good to hear you, because Cleveland, I kind of miss it, coming out there. And I keep telling myself that I'm going to get myself together and come out and just make some visits.
Okay, yeah, anytime, Sam. You're more than welcome. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for blessing us with your presence today. It is such an honor to be on the phone, to be here talking with you and having you on the show. Welcome again, champ.
Thank you for having me.
It's a blessing.
Always
man.
a pleasure.
It's an honor.
Hey, champ. So today marks history. This is when, and not the, when, and I know that you came up. You came up in the camp. You were sparring with Muhammad Ali, and today marks the day in history where, and see if you can relate. Definitely elaborate on this a little bit. When he was stripped of his heavyweight belt because he didn't want to go, Muhammad Ali didn't want to go into the war and fight in the war. Can you recall that, champ?
Yeah, you know what? I couldn't blame him. As a matter of fact, I didn't blame him. I was younger than him when all this was going on. But you know what? I didn't want to go either, man. I didn't want to go to Vietnam and fight over there. People getting killed. You don't know them and whatever. And when Ali was out making speeches, he made a whole lot of sense. So, you had to go along with what he was saying. And anyway, I went along with what he was saying because he was my boss, and he treated me good.
Okay. And you came up sparring. Did you in sparring with Muhammad Ali? Did you get your jab that master the jab in sparring with Ali, or how did you get that style? And where did that jab come from, champ?
Well, of course it comes from Ali because he was fast with that jab. And one of the things that I wanted to do is put my jab against his. And I wanted to learn how to jab like he did. But, I finally got it, and I got it mainly at the end of his career. And I was out jabbing Muhammad Ali. A lot of people say, oh, no, you can't do that. Even when I fought him, nobody thought I could beat him. I said, I know him. I know this guy. I've been boxing him for 4 years, and you tell me I don't know him enough to beat him? He can't fight like he used to fight. And we went on in the ring, and I came out victoriously.
Right.
Man.
Hey, champ, how you doing? This is Marshall Brown, Boxing Sweet Science. I have a question for you. Just recently, I was watching the fight with you and Ken Norton, and I was just amazed at the way you was putting together your jab. You picked your spots. You fought on the inside, and you got on your toes a little bit. And it was kind of I went back to a little bit to where they said Anthony Joshua. I don't know if you've seen the Ruiz 2 fight.
Yeah.
Where they said he ran. In your estimation, based off of watching that fight, did you see that fight first? And do you think that he actually ran, or do you think that he fought smart?
He fought, but he didn't fight not smart. He should have been more on his toes and stick the jab and move side to side. And I tried to get him, to come down here so I can teach him. They asked me to show him the jab. I said, I can show him how to jab, but, showing him and him doing it is two different things. And I was there at the fight. And I seen it, and I didn't like the fight because they're making a big thing out of no thing. Josh was not ready for the fight. Let me tell you, he was ready, training-wise. But what happened is, let me tell you what, he came down, working out, coming on down with the heat on. You got to be cool and calm when you go down. You can't go down there and you a whole lot of heat is on top of you. All the clothes that he had on, that took a lot out of him right there and then.
Are you talking about 1 or are you talking about part 2?
Part 2. Wilder. Talking about Wilder.
Oh, you're talking about Wilder. I was talking about I was talking about Anthony Joshua and Anthony and Ruiz.
Yeah. Okay. I got the names mixed up.
Yeah.
It's okay, Sam. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I come out of retirement and beat them both.
I know that. Hey, Sam, tell me this now. Out of Ernie Shavers, Ken Norton, Jerry Cooney, out of all of those, champ, out of all the fighters that you fought and great champions, Ali, who was your toughest opponent, and why do you say that they were?
Well, Kenny Norton was my toughest opponent because he took me 15 rounds, and then not making any excuses, but I had a left arm out of shape, wasn't too good of shape, but I fought him and I beat him and I won the championship. But he was really tough. All of them were tough. Ernie Shavers was tough. He knocked me down. I seen the lights come on when he hit me, and Ali, you can't say you can never give up Ali. Ali was the man. you know. But I had boxed with him for 5 years, and I knew exactly what he was going to do when he was going to do it. So it was kind of easy. And not only that, he was up in age and up in fighting. So, you know, the best fight I had out of the bunch of the guys were Kenny Norton, because he was, man, he was trying to kill me every second, and I had to be ready. Yeah, Kenny Norton. May his soul rest in peace.
May you rest in peace, the great Kenny Norton. No doubt about that, champ. And how would you think the heavyweight division today will line up with the heavyweight division during your era?
They won. You wouldn't heard of them. You wouldn't have heard of them guys. Man, listen, man, we had Ernie Shavers out there. He was one of the hardest punchers in the world. You had Kenny Norton out there. You had George Foreman out there. You had Brian Lyles out there. You had these big, strong punchers out there, you know, and guys that would dedicated themselves to boxing. These guys don't do that today, you know. They don't dedicate like we did. And that's why I'm more so leaning on our side. Besides, I was there. Larry Holmes was there, and I was ruling the heavyweight division at the time. But I was humble with it, though. You know, I wasn't one of them guys that went out and bragged, I'm this, I'm that. I didn't do that. I went out there and said, I'm going to win the fight, and that's it. And go out there and do it.
Mr. Holmes, I got another question, please.
Call me Larry.
All right, Larry.
Okay.
So you know, in the age of boxing, you have guys that was in your era who went financially strapped, but you were one of those guys who kind of knew how to finance and make investments. How did you keep your head above the water to make sure that you kept what you made versus the other guys? What was your formula?
I was with them. Listen, I watched what they did, how they spend, how they would spend it on the girls, and how they would just go because they knew they had another payday, you know. And I watched them, and I said, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to put all my years into boxing and with nothing at all, you know. So I started putting my money away. I started investing it in real estate and trying to get a return on that, and which I got a return on that. And I wanted to have something when I finished boxing. I wanted to be able to say, I got this, I got that, but not braggadocious, not buying everything just to be the stuff on the stick. You know, I just wanted to be a guy to save my money for my kids to have something when they grow up.
Right. Yeah, do you think, hey, Champ, do you think Floyd Mayweather is doing good for boxing with the way that he, you know, all the money that he's making now and investments that he made? You think that was a good idea?
Well, I tell you what, I don't know exactly what he invested in, but he made a lot of money, and he should have a lot of money. Even when way after he's finished boxing, he should have money. You know, and don't let people talk you into buying stuff that you don't really need, and giving your money away that you work so hard for, because they're out there. You know, they're out there. Hey man, get that. Hey man, right down the street. That's a sharp Rolls Royce over there. Let's buy that. That's a nice Cadillac. Let's buy that. It's a house over there for sale. Let's buy that. You know, and that's how your money leaves. It follows the trail.
So, Larry, have you ever thought about managing fighters or promoting fighters, or is that something you never was interested in doing? Because
I did that. I did that for a while, but you know they were doing me in. I had to stop paying these guys and make them work for what they get. You know, they want it for nothing. They didn't want to have to get up in the morning and run at 5 o'clock in the morning like I did. They didn't want to box with guys that are going to kick their butt like I did. You know, and, you know, I got tired of it. So, hey, I just sold my gym. I sold my gym last year. I sold my gym. I sold my bar. I called that nightclub. You know, I bought everything I ever thought I might want. And you don't want no nightclub. But I kept my money pretty good.
Yes, you did. And how's your golf game been going, Sam?
You can't play. I play golf I go to the field when we have a golf tournament every year. My wife puts on a golf tournament with all the guys, with the great football players and boxers and stuff like that. We have a lot of fun, but you know what? I can't play that game. That ain't for me. If I get ready to hit the ball, everybody better move on the side because I can't hit that ball, man. I tell you the truth.
Hey, you just stick to the jab, huh, Champ? Throw that jab, that's good. I know you still got that in you.
I still got the jab. I keep telling everybody I still got the jab. And I show them how to jab, but they don't know how to jab. Now, that's like Wilder, when he fought, man, all he had to do is use a jab, man.
Right.
He didn't use the jab. He didn't know how to use a jab. And I tried to teach him how to use the jab. That big old boy would have never hit me with that stuff. Because I'd have been I'd hit him and move, you know. And I tried to teach him how to do that, but he wasn't ready to learn. He should have came down here and said, Larry, I'm going to move down here in Easton for 6 weeks, and I'm going to stay with you. I want you to help me. And I'd have helped him.
Right.
I wouldn't have charged him no money or anything like that. I'd have helped him.
But
he'd have had that jab going. He's the only two people that had the jab, me and Muhammad Ali.
Oh, man. Would you consider doing that now? If he reached out to you right now and said, listen, I need you right now, champ. I need your guidance. Would you consider helping Wilder now?
Yeah, but they pride. They got too much pride. They won't want me. They should have called me right after he got knocked out. Should have called me, hey, man, I'm going to get Larry Holmes. They talk shit about Larry Holmes a lot, but I'm going to go get the best. I know a guy got a good jab. And I ran for 75 fights. You know, I mean, come on, give me a break.
Wow, yeah.
You're right, champ, and that's the reason, only reason, because his corner with Mark Breland, and I watched that fight, champ, time and time again. Mark Breland didn't know how to make adjustments in his corner. He didn't know how to cool him off and water him down. I noticed that, champ, and he didn't know how to stop the blood in his ear.
You sound like me, man. You preaching that's what I preach to him. I would say, why don't he cool him down? Pour water on the top of his head to cool him down. Let him swallow some of that water. Let him step back. Stick the jab out there. Keep the jab working. But, you know, he had Mark Buellin in it. Mike don't know. I don't know. Hate to knock anybody in this game, but he didn't have it. Mark didn't have it. Please, he didn't put the board on top of his head and say, you know, you get hot out there in that ring, and the guy coming at you. You pour water on top of his head, cool him off. You tell him to swallow some water so that he don't get dehydrated. But they didn't do none of that.
So, Larry, who of all the boxers right now, current, I don't know if you still watch it, are you active watching, but who do you like right now out of any division right now? Who got your eye, and who are you excited about?
Really, none of them. I swear to God, man. I go to it. I go to the fights, you know, when they have local around the town here, but I'm not interested in nobody I know. It's not. Don't get to me. Don't get to me.
Wow.
Because they don't do it. They take punches upside the head. They get hit, and then you know, you keep getting hit. Something gonna give.
Right.
So.
And I know one thing that you always mention, champ, that you mentioned before, the heart. You don't see that heart, that lion in these young cats like you did when you all came up. Like you say, you knew there were times where guys knew that they was getting in the ring with someone that was had skills far much more than what they had, but they still got in the ring and learned from them and took that and incorporated that into their game.
You have to learn, man. Listen, if I didn't know how to move good when I fought Ernie Shavers, I'd still be on the campus right now. If I didn't move like that when I fought Kenny Norton, I would be on the campus, man. You know, Ali, if I wasn't around Ali and watched him how he worked, he'd out-talk me for the fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And these guys, man, come on, pour water on the top of his head. Get him cool. Let him swallow some of the water. they swallow water. No, you can't swallow no water. You cramp up inside. I almost swore on your phone. But anyway, these guys, they got to stick the jab, the right hand, and move on the left. You move to your right, and hit them with that jab and ask the guy if they're hungry. Did they eat yet? If they said no, I didn't eat yet, feed them with some more jabs, man. That's it.
It's real simple, Sam.
Yeah.
Larry, so I just wanted to know, because I was thinking about a video that I was looking at about a week ago. Were you possessed by the Karate Kid when you drop kicked Trevor Burbick? What was going through your head when you did that?
Trevor Burbick was nuts, man. He was nuts. He pissed me off, and the way he tried to, excuse me for saying that, way he tried to do it was mess with my family, and I don't play that. You know what I mean? And I was trying to hurt him, and I never tried to do that in the boxing ring. Try to hurt him. I try to hurt nobody, but just to beat him up and get out of there as quick as we can. But he was nuts, man. He was nuts. Anytime this guy raped his daughter, man, you know what I mean? He got nuts. I didn't want nothing to do with him. But Don King pushed it in there, so that's what happened.
Exactly. And tell me this, champ. You've been in the ring with both Evander Holyfield and the great legend, the great Mike Tyson. Out of those two, who do you think would be the toughest opponent out of those two?
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, because I had two excuses when I fought both of them. Mike Tyson hit you hard. He hit you hard. But see, what happened with me with Mike Tyson, I came out of retirement. I was retired for 2 years, but when they came up with this money, man, I had to get the money.
Right. Don King came to your house with money, right? Don King came to your house with money.
Don came knocking on my door, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I wanted to know what the heck he was doing here. And he had a big envelope in the bag. You know what I mean? So he talked me into it. But listen, I was thinking about I was building a building down here in Easton, and the man brought me $3.5 million, and he said, "I'm gonna give you some more money, man, after the fight." And I wanted to know how much money he gave me, so he gave me $5 million, and I took the fight, and I wasn't ready for it, but I wanted the money. So that's what happened to me. And let me tell you about Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield is a good boxer, but he don't have nothing for Larry Holmes. I had a detached retina before the fight. I couldn't see.
Oh, wow.
And I fought this guy with a detached retina. I had went in the hospital and got an operation and everything, and I couldn't see. But that was like $10 million, man. How you gonna turn down? I closed my eye. I closed my eyes, man. Shit. I don't need to see that shit coming at me. So hey, they said, "Man, Larry, you crazy fight Evander Holyfield." Well, he didn't hurt me, and I went home with $10 million in my pocket, so they can talk all the stuff they want.
Can't beat it, champ. Hey, I appreciate you so much, champ, for coming on with us today, man, and blessing us with your presence. And champ, before we go get out of here, what is your social media? How can people reach you if they want to get in touch with you for bookings and stuff?
My social, how they get to me, Diane? They can get me at champ at LarryHolmes.com.
Okay.
And I'm on Instagram too. Larry75. So Larry75. Hey man, listen. I used to hang out. Before I let you go, I used to love down in Euclid Avenue, man.
Didn't champ coming to Cleveland?
Yeah. I used to hang out down there, man, with Virgil Ogletree. He's probably dead now. Booker, Booker dead too. But all no guys, man, because
hey, I used to hear about you, champ, in the gym up here, man, over here, and they say you used to whoop on everybody in Cleveland, man. They hate to see you coming, champ.
Yeah, they don't want to see me. But listen, man, it's nice talking to you guys, man. I'll look you up when I get out that way.
Okay, Camp, most definitely. It's been a pleasure. This is the
All right, guys.
for the world. Larry Holmes, the greatest, one of the greatest that ever did it. In the ring with Al Jones. We'll be right back.
The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
1490 WERE traffic.
Good evening. This traffic update sponsored by Audible. As we take a final look at the roads for your commute, if you're on the road going eastbound 480, you're going to find the right two lanes closed for construction right at Lee Road with slow traffic coming off of Broadway. And in Cleveland, we have reports of an accident where a car has crashed into a pole on East 135th Street. You're going to find some down wires, and this is at Miles Ave, so use caution. Another accident on Euclid Ave at Chester Ave. Audible is here for you. Listen to new releases in every genre. Discover why millions of people are listening on Audible every month and find out how to get your first audiobook free at audible.com. I'm Lorenzo Ware on Cleveland's News Talk 1490 WERE AM, the People Station.
Welcome back to In the Ring with your man Al Jones, and I'm also here with my main man Marshall Brown. Hey man, you gotta say, man, that was one of the greatest interviews of all time, man. Kicking it with the champ, Larry Holmes, man. Can you believe that, Marshall?
How many guys get to say they talked to the champ? And he was so candid and welcoming, man. He said, "Don't call me Mr. Holmes, call me Larry." I said,
right.
Yes,
Yes, that's my main man right there, man. That's my main man. He said it too, and he'll be up here in Cleveland. He'll come to Cleveland, Ohio all the time. Them cats, man, when he used to come up here over to Cleveland, man, they used to hate to see him coming to the gym, man, because they knew they was gonna have to eat that jab if they jumped in there with him, man. They used to hate it. I mean, the greatest, the Hall of Famer Larry Holmes, he gonna put that jab on you, man. It's guaranteed. There's no way you can get around it. You're going to eat that left hand, man.
And you know what's crazy? And even in boxing, a lot of these guys don't really claim, they don't put Larry Holmes in their top 5 or top 10 greatest heavyweights. And it's surprising to me because when you break down boxing fundamentals, man, this guy has been in there with some of the best, man, and beat some of the best. You know what I mean? Like, Larry Holmes is the man. And if you want to model your life after boxing, that's who you watch. You know, you got Floyd Mayweather, but then you got Larry Holmes and other guys that made some really smart investments. Man, he bought half of Eastern Pennsylvania up in real estate, man. He made some very smart investments, man. And that's what you want to do, man. Because I was just listening to an interview with Michael Moore, and he was talking about how broke he is and how broke most fighters are, which is really heartbreaking. Yeah, it's heartbreaking to hear because, you know, managers taking 33 1/3%. Then you got the sanctioning fees. Then you got the trainers that got to pay, and that 33 1/3% is after taxes.
Right.
So what that's 60% of the fighters' purse gone before they have to pay out their bills. So
and just like the champ said, Marshall, just like the champ said, Don King came knocking on the door with that bag. I gotta jump out there and get it, man. I need that. I need that bag.
I mean, but think about that. The time that he came with that kind of cash. You know what I mean? You can't turn that down. $10 million to fight Vander Holyfield. Come on, man. Even with a detached retina, he said, "Man, I did it with my eyes closed."
I closed my eye.
Yeah, he said, I had to see that coming. For $10 million.
Hey, man, I love that, man. That's real talk right there. I mean, Don King gonna make sure he gonna give you half up front to lock you in and sign that contract, and then you gonna get the other half when you win or lose.
That's right. That's your money, guaranteed. That's right. And he still got his faculties. He still got his money. He still he ain't lose nothing. You know, he's sharp as hell. You know what I mean? So listen, man, he made some really smart moves. It was risky, but you had to do what you had to do. I mean, back to back, $10, $15 million back to back. Come on, man, you can't beat that.
No, not at all, man. You gotta love it. Hey, before we get out of here too, Marshall, what's your contact information for all the listeners and all the new fans that we got today? What's your contact information?
I can be reached at Boxing Sweet Science on Instagram, Boxing Sweet Science 2.0 on Instagram, on Facebook, Boxing Sweet Science 2.0, and on Twitter, Boxing Sweet Science 2.0. Same thing. I'm there to be found.
That's right. And once again, this is Al Jones from In the Ring. You can reach me on Instagram. That's AJ In the Ring, and also In the Ring with Al Jones on IG. Also on Facebook, In the Ring on Facebook. Also pumping up that YouTube. I need those subscriptions also. Go on your YouTube. That's In the Ring with Al Jones on YouTube. It's going down. In the Ring with Al Jones on Twitter. We all over the world, baby. It's been another great week with In the Ring with Al Jones. I need my peoples. I need all y'all that's listening to make sure you continue to practice your social distancing, continue to practice your clean hygiene, because it's only so much. It's only so much that the governor can tell you and advise you to do. The rest is on you. In the Ring with Al Jones. It's been a pleasure, everyone. Have a good week and stay up. God bless.
Heart been broke so many times, I don't know what to believe. Mama say it's my fault, I wear my heart on my sleeve. Think it's best I put my heart on ice, cause I can't breathe. I'ma put my heart on ice, best of me. While in the cell with Lil Joaquin, after I slapped him, I had told him, I don't know how you get down with them clowns, but I'm a soldier. No one could understand, I had way too much aggression that built over the years from my abandoned adolescence. See, I done been lied to, backstabbed, and heartbroken. I wanted to cry, but I was too afraid to open. Praying one day I'll find a peace of mind by the ocean. I spent all my time committing crimes.
The proceeding was a paid program brought to you by Al Jones. The views and opinions expressed are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of this station or its manager. News Talk 1490 WERE, Cleveland Heights, WZAK HD3, Cleveland.